Hello, I'm Matt Saylor, Senior Marketing Manager at Act On, here to talk about email personalization and some of the misconceptions behind it. We're ready to bust some myths today. Thanks to the Litmus team for letting me crash your party. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Thank you so much, Matt. Hi, I am Jana Mistry. I'm the Director of Brand and Content Marketing at Litmus.
And I'm Derek Franks. I'm the Senior Content Marketing Manager at Litmus. It's great to be here.
Personalization myth number one. It seems there's an impression out there that people are creeped out by personalization. So, Jana, is it creepy to personalize emails?
So I won't lie, I have had a few personalized emails that have landed in my inbox, and I was like, oh, that's a little creepy. But I would say in general, it's actually the opposite that's true. McKinsey, in fact, reported that 71% of customers expect personalizations. Customers know how much data a brand or company has and expects it to be used to provide relevant emails for them. So it's kind of the norm in B2C, and it's definitely becoming more of the norm in B2B too.
Okay, this one is debunked. Personalization is actually very popular with email users. For our second personalization myth, we're looking at the misconception that personalization is just too difficult. So Derek, what's the story behind this one?
Yeah, so personalization has been around for a long time, more than a decade at this point. Maybe back in the early days, it seemed kind of a daunting task to collect all the right information and to make it work. But these days, most marketing teams have some sort of automation or customer relationship software, and personalizing based on segment or industry, first name, it's something you usually can do without even collecting additional information.
Yeah, this one is debunked for sure. Tools like Litmus Personalize and Act On Marketing Automation make it quite easy, in fact, to automate dynamic, personalized content. Privacy is a big topic for any digital marketer these days, really. You have Google's phasing out of third-party cookies, you have GDPR regulations, you now even have email providers cracking down on promotional emails. That's enough to make an email marketer lose sleep, but does it spell the end of email personalization, Jana?
So this topic is really interesting. Privacy is definitely important, and if you're following white hat processes and best practices in your email marketing, you're doing things right.
Yeah, what are some of those white hat tactics?
So what we mean by white hat tactics is we mean industry standard email best practices. That means including things like double opt-in in your sign up process and making it really easy to unsubscribe.
That's great. So how can you collect data safely in this world of increased privacy?
So your best bet is to use things like what we call zero and first party data. So you're not relying on third party cookies or other methods. Things like surveys that you can send to your customers and prospects to learn more about them, and then personalize your emails based on that information you're getting. For example, you can base it on industry or region, and you can even collect information with your content download forms or your email newsletter signups. Anytime you, as the marketer, are asking for data and the audience provides it, there's a limited privacy risk there. There's a little bit of a pernicious myth out there that personalization isn't worth it, because you're likely to create errors in your emails. I mean, we've all received that email that says dear first name in the subject line or even the beginning of it and had a bit of a chuckle. Derek, let's bust this one wide open.
Yeah, we can all relate to this fear of the messed up email as marketers, right? We want to avoid those personalization errors and set up that thorough email testing strategy. There are great tools out there, including Litmus, which allow you to test emails by audience and scenarios, so you can know exactly how the personalized parts of the email will look to those specific audiences.
And data hygiene is also really important here, right, Derek?
100%. Make sure you're using data that you're confident in, not lists that haven't been cleaned up, that, just asking for mistakes there. And as a final failsafe, make sure that you have some generic text that you can fall back on.
Do you have an example of what that fallback could look like?
So yeah, I've got a short and sweet one. If you are personalizing by first name, for instance, just default to a standard greeting without the name whenever that field is absent.
So Matt, is personalization just a B2C tactic or a retail tactic, or is this another one of those myths?
It's definitely a myth. It might actually be one of my least favorites. I'm a longtime B2B marketer, and I'm always looking for great ideas to borrow from our B2C colleagues. I don't think we do that enough.
Absolutely agree. So why do you think people buy into this myth?
Yeah, I think this myth sticks around because, due credit, B2C really pioneered personalization techniques, such as product recommendations. But with B2B, you can really take it to the next level and build actual relationships and affinity using personalization.
That is an amazing point. Do you have any examples of that?
So dynamic personalized content that invites interaction from the recipient, for example, or another great use case is segmenting based on company size or industry, and then building different content and sequences for those segments.
So Derek, there's a myth out there that personalized dynamic email content is all flash. It's not about driving real business and real results. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's definitely a myth, Jaina. As you know, people really expect this kind of personalization of their content, for one thing. And that's partly because it does help close deals and drive businesses. And so people have that experience already knowing that personalization does work.
Do you have any numbers to back that up with?
I'm glad you asked. We've seen email teams who use Litmus Personalize increase conversion rates by as much as 45%. And some teams have even seen an increase in revenue of 96% using personalization.
Wow, that is amazing.
Wow is right. So keep that in mind next time someone tells you that personalization is just for show.
Thanks so much for joining Act On and guests from the Litmus team to bust some of these email personalization myths.